All right, guys, it's been a couple of weeks since I focused on challenge locks, and I thought this might be a good one. First of all, it's from Albert Lebel, and he's kind of been driving me wacky, sending me daily emails, checking up on his lock, making sure it didn't get lost. So I really suspect this is going to be something special. On top of that, inside of the box, he gave me a cool light, very bright. So we will be using that, and I've only ever gotten two knives in the lock lab, and this is one of them. Albert sent an Ozark Trail Navaya. Haven't even busted this out of the package yet. I guess Albert got tired of waiting for me to cut myself with one of my own knives, and he decided to supplement the arsenal. And then the other one, kind of in the background here, is that MT knife that was donated that I'm waiting anxiously to open up some packages with. All right, Albert did also send, let's go ahead and move this stuff. We will be using that. They sent a note, and the note is, don't know if you can make it out, but it says, Bill, it's been quite the journey since my first challenge lock that I actually whipped you. Now, you guys have been watching for a while. This next sentence will make sense. And then I did it for a second time, and I was floored. So he's gotten two of these whipped pack locks out of me. So we all know that I couldn't rest without going for strike three. He's going to strike Bosnianbill out yet again. He says he hasn't come up with any new technology that nobody's seen yet. I do believe this lock will show I've honed my skills so I can use current technology with much more precision. Great. I have no idea yet if this means a tougher lock or just a prettier one. Laugh out loud. Either way, it's a win because I enjoy making them as much as I do picking them. All right, we have a key. We have a cool bag. And we have a very pair-centric keyway. Looks like Albert has wrapped this up with electrical tape to keep me from pulling plugs. And since I've worked with Albert before, I'm looking for any weirdness in the side. There may or may not be, because these are flats. There may be something under here that he's stuck in there to trick us up, but I don't see anything. All I see are 6 pins on the top. We got his autograph on the back. We do have the key mummied, and he calls this one detestation, as if I'm detested. I will learn to detest this lock, I guess. I am going to cheat because it is Albert. He has whipped me twice, so I need every possible advantage. I'm going to use his light to see if maybe I can't see past that first pin, but it looks like a standard pin, so that's not going to help me. So let's really cheat and look in the back. Again, I can't see past pin 6, and he also looks like a standard pin. I don't see anything unusual in there. So no advantages. All right. All right, a lot of you guys say, why don't you rake these locks? And sometimes I do rake up a fault set. Not often. Usually I go straight to SPP because these are so hard to rake. It's really unlikely. I will do it this time. Let's see what we can start with here. I will start with a 15 thousandths and see if we can rake up a fault set. And then, based on this paracentric keyway, I don't think I've got a lot of choice here. I'm probably going to have to go with a 15 thousandths short hook. I can't really get too much of a deeper hook in there simply because of the way this keyway is put together. My worry is on the 15 thousandths, the shaft is thicker. So if there's something deep in the back and a very low cut in the front, it may very well overset. So this may be strike 3 for Bill. Just feeling around, I can tell you there are some very tough springs. So raking, I don't even know if this will work. All right, it does work. They're pretty rough, but again, we got a very short keyway to work with here. We're working from there to that ledge, and the Bogota makes up a lot. If this doesn't work, we'll move over to the shorter profile worm and see if we can't rake up a fault set, and then jump right to the 15,000 short hook from the Praxis kit. All right, let me clamp it up, and let's see if we can not get struck out yet again by Albert Lebel. All right, guys, I've already clamped it up. Already got a mark on here, and I've already chosen the tensioner. It's the 1mm from Mad Bob's, the medium one, because it fits in there pretty good and lets me control that core both ways. I'm going to pick it clockwise. There is some slop in the core, so if I decide to pick it counterclockwise, we'll just redraw that mark. I'm going to start off trying to get a false set with the Bogota. Slide them around. All right, apply a little tension and start trying to rake. Now notice when I'm raking, I'm not just, sliding in and out and out. I'm actually bouncing him up and down while I'm sliding him in and out. And I found that sometimes on challenge locks, that works real good to get you a false set, because challenge locks usually have that really wide variation between highs and lows. By bouncing it up, if there's a real high cut one, sometimes you can get a little lucky. I'm not feeling anything from this yet. I don't think I've got a single pin. So I'm going to tighten up on the tension a little. And I'm still feeling no love for this thing. I'm going to try the raking back and forth a little bit. All right, I felt a very slight false set. So a lot of times you feel false set, you're obviously caught up by a security pin. At that point, when you rake it back and forth, sometimes you can feel counter rotation in the tensioner, and that'll tell you you're dealing with a spool. Then you can kind of focus on him and just go oscillate back and forth and bounce up and down on him. So I feel something up in the front here. Oh, and I think we have a very deep false set. All right, let's go in here with the short hook. All right, and I do have a very deep false set on a spool, and looks like it's pin number 1. That is wild at how deep that is. All right, let's see if we can pick him and see what happens then. We get an open. Albert! Oh, man! Practically raked open. All right, no strike 3. In fact, you should be penalized. I think you should have to send back one of those pack locks for this. That was nothing like some of your previous locks. Let's go ahead and gut him and see what Alfred's got. I'm only joking, guys. I have no doubt that I got pretty lucky on this. Let me back the zoom out a little bit. I did not expect to rake him and then have to only pick a single pin. But I can tell you the only pin I recognized is pin 1. And when I was raking it back and forth, I did feel counter rotation. Now we do have a key. Let's go ahead and lock him up and make sure that Albert's key works. All right, I'm going to move this. I am going to take my new empty knife. I know it's not appropriate, but he's handy. Try not to cut the mat, because I know you guys get totally freaked out about that. My $6 mat. All right. Well, I would have thought we'd have a lot more variation, which might explain why I was able to do some serious raking on these guys. And here, there's not a lot of difference between these two. The only real oddities are pin 4 and pin 1 there. All right, come back here, make sure he works. And he does. Come out. Okay, probably got a real tight spring in there. Let's move that knife so I don't cut a finger off. And let's see what Albert's got inside of here. Put him up there. Let's get a Phillips. Not that guy. All right, I don't see any real weirdness. Yeah, I'm seeing some threads. See an undercut in 2. Let's dump him and we'll take a closer look. Standard steel pin. That's got a little spool on it. That's got a spool on it. Serrated and spool. All right, I see some undercut in chamber 2, and I see threads in chamber 5. And that is it. No other magic. So this, if there's magic, it's got to be here. All right, we have a homemade serrated, very sharp edges. And there was nothing in here for him to grab. It's only in 2 and 5, so maybe upstairs we got some threading. Okay, we have a pin and pin. Let me grab him. I thought it was a spool. Come on, camera. This camera's supposed to have 340 focusing points, and none of them want to focus on what we want to see. All right, anyway, pin and pin. Very nice. And I will go ahead and separate him. Ooh. All right, there we go. There's another pin in chamber 2. Probably to catch the tip of that, but I don't know why we would need to do that. Okay, that is the spring from 1. And he does not want to come out. He's starting to come out. Come on. There he is. It's just a little wafer. And I thought that was a double spring, but he's not. All right, back to business. Number 3 is a serrated. Very nice, very sharp. I'll get that pin later. Number 4. Shot right out of there. Come here, you. It's a T-pin. It's almost like a pagoda pin. I'm not sure. I'll be honest. Albert, you're going to have to straighten me out. I don't know how he came out since he popped out. And he's got a different spring. So now it's time to start pulling these guys out. I can see color. So we have, this is chamber 3. Come on. And chamber 4 is a steel pin of some kind, or steel spring. Whoops. I would bet that the orientation here is correct, because if it was the other way around, the tip of that probably could have gotten caught in the end of the spring. So Albert, I don't think would have done that. I think he probably would have had him like that. If it was me, that's how I would install it. All right, let's go run it back and look, see what we got. Number 6 has a little groove cut in him, a little spool. And the last one is beautiful serrations. These are just wonderful serrated pins. Very sharp, very clean. All right. Now we've got to look inside of here. I'm going to use this new light, and I think I can hold it even up out of the frame. Hopefully that, see if we can get that working. Get a good angle here. It looks like 5 is serrated, and so we had a serrated pin in 5. Looks like 4 is normal, and pin 3 was threaded. So pin 3 also had a very sharp serrated pin. Chamber 1 had nothing in it, either in the Bible or in the core, yet we had a nice serrated pin inside of there. Anyway, Albert, it's a very nice lock, I got to say, but I don't think it put up quite the resistance of your previous 2. I'm kidding about sending back the pack lock, the whipped pack lock. You always do good work, Albert, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay legal, and Albert, thank you for the light and the nice pocket knife. Thanks, guys. Hold on, before you leave, click that subscribe button, and while you're there, click that notification bell as well. If you'd like to be a sponsor, click there, and for $5 a month, you get all kinds of benefits. If that's not enough free stuff, hit the Lock Lab. We've got a self-paced lockpicking course with over a dozen modules at the bottom of the page. Join the tribe. Subscribe.